And we're live with another edition of Keep Calm and Carry. I really do appreciate you guys swinging by. This edition, we're going to talk about the NRA annual meeting. This was the first time that I've actually been able to make it to an NRA meeting. Just full disclosure, I am an NRA member, and we're going to talk about kind of the state of the NRA, some of the things that I saw, some of the shenanigans I got into, and yeah, just a number of different things. So if you guys have any questions, have anything that you were interested in, that something that you might have wanted to see at the NRA meeting, just let me know. Go ahead and hit me up in the chat room, and we will see how that goes. So I want to say thank you for everybody swinging by so far. As people come swinging in, we will have some questions, hopefully. So let's see here. Let's say hi to the chat room real quick. Hi, chat room. There we go. Boom. All right. So let's get into it. So Thursday, I took a 7.5 hour trip down to Dallas. Really haven't spent too much time in Dallas, but I hear it's great. I guess I've spent a little bit of time in Fort Worth, so west side of Dallas, and that was nice. Got to see a Rangers game, but never really taken any time in Dallas itself. So this was going to be a neat trip to kind of see some of the ins and outs of downtown and so on and so forth. So I can tell you after this weekend, I'm extremely dehydrated, so I'm going to be drinking water the entire time. But anyway, one of the first things that I was able to do is pick up Johnny from 182nd Ideas from the airport. He and I shared a room together, which was great. It was great to kind of bounce things off of another YouTuber and be able to kind of work out some of the pre-show jitters. So that was pretty good. And then we went out to dinner and was able to have dinner with Jackie Billings from guns.com and John Patton and the lovely Genevieve. So that was really nice. Got to see a little kind of swanky part of Dallas, a little trendy area. I didn't have my skinny jeans on, so I kind of felt out of place, but food was good. I really enjoyed it. So then we got right into the NRA meeting the very next morning. And one of the things that I learned from SHOT Show as a content creator is you basically are going to want to start from one side of the convention and just go completely to the other side. Take notes of things that you're interested in that you want to go back and check out later. But realistically, for a content creator, unless you know of certain people that are requesting you to swing by their table or whatever the case may be, then for the most part, the first day should just be a lot of walking around, checking things out, seeing what's new, doing the grip and grin type of thing, and so on and so forth. So that's what I did. And before we get into that, I'm going to take a second, swing over here to the chat room and say, hey, everybody. So right off the bat, Bald and Curious, great to see you there. Still do not know who Johnny Bravo is, but I guess that's thanks. I guess that's a compliment. Andrew, always a pleasure. Grim Reaper, hey. And we have a new guest, and someone that has popped up, a new subscriber. And I wanted to say a special hi and welcome to Alana Barracks. She's in the chat room. Hi. Good to see you. Thanks for swinging by. I really appreciate it. Michelle to Alpha is in the room. Man, I got a whole bunch of celebrities. And then Kevin Ekdahl. Appreciate it, man. Haven't seen you in a little bit. Really appreciate it. Scott jumping in there too. So we'll swing back over into the chat room here in just a second and send me your questions. If there was something at not SHOT Show, but NRAAM, if you're interested, let me know. And hopefully it's not something I've already covered, but let's jump into it. So one of the first things that was really pretty interesting, is really funny for me, and I kind of had a fanboy type of moment, is seeing the Garand Thumb. That's right, the Garand Thumb. He is a gorgeous specimen of a man, let me tell you. But what is even more interesting is when Grand Thumb looks at you, looks at me, and calls you by your first name. That was what really started the whole show off with a bang. Made it. It really took a lot of the jitters and took a lot of the edge off to have someone that prominent in the YouTube world as a content creator to be able to say, "Hey, Mark, what's going on? It's good to see you." So that was really nice. I really appreciated that. Thanks, Mike, if you're watching. Probably not, but hey, a boy can dream, right? So with that being said, let's talk real quick about my social media stuff. So Instagram is where I'm mostly at. All my Instagram stuff feeds over to Facebook. So I mostly post on Instagram, and then that kind of feeds it into Facebook posts. And I try to keep up with both as best I can. But if you've been following my Instagram feed, you'll see a lot of the stuff I'm going to talk about tonight as some of the things that I saw, some of the people that I met, and so on and so forth. So if you're not already subscribed to my Instagram feed, by all means, please do so. You'll find me at Instagram Instagram. Starting off with a bang here. You'll find me at fitandfire78 on Instagram, and then facebook.com/fitandfire. And then something else that's popped up new here recently is my webpage. I have a brand new webpage that I'm trying to stay up to date with as much as possible. That is www.fitandfire.com. So by all means, swing by, check it out. I'd really appreciate the support. On my website, I've got the deals of the week. I'm going to go scouring the interwebs and finding a really good gun deal, and I'm going to post it on my website. I'm not going to get any type of commission off of it. I just want to help you guys find some great deals and hopefully save you some money in the meantime. I also got a section for gear, stuff that I use every single day or things that I want to get my hands on. So you can click any of the links there and check those things out. Some of that stuff will actually help the channel. So if you swing by and click one of the items, I get a small commission off of it. It doesn't cost you any more than what you would already pay for it. And it goes to help support the channel. So I appreciate that. And then I'll have a little news section that talks about what's going on in the gun industry. So yeah. So let's get back to my man crush with Grand Thumb. He was over at Roscoe Barrels, and I was able to stop with them and chat with him for a second, give him a high five, get a selfie taken, which is always nice, and then talk to Gabe from Roscoe Barrels. They've got a lot of brand new stuff that's going to be coming out this summer and late fall, so keep your eyes open for Roscoe. Check them out. They've got some great deals on barrels. They are actually one of the companies that supplies OEM barrels for a lot of the manufacturers. So if you're doing an AR build, I highly recommend you guys swinging by Roscoe, checking them out, and see if you can get a good deal on a barrel. So, and I just want to let you guys know that this may come off and sound like an advertisement for a lot of these companies, but I really, that's not the intent. These are companies that I had a really great experience with, and people that I kind of seek out on a regular basis when I go to, say, SHOT Show or to NRAAM, or even the range day with Iraq veteran 8888. So let's take a real quick break here. Let's swing back on over to the chat room, see what's going on. Andrew wanted to know, did Tim Kennedy ever actually make good on his comments? That's actually a really good question, because there was a lot of stuff that blew up on Facebook over on the Gun Collective's Facebook page. John Patton and Tim Kennedy kind of butted heads on Tim Kennedy's comments here that happened not too long ago when he did the interview with Lance Armstrong. Now, if you're not familiar with what happened, Tim Kennedy came out and said that he supports gun control and he doesn't believe that 19-year-olds should have AR-15s. So there's a lot of backpedaling from that and this and that and the other. There was a very heated discussion of sorts on the Facebooks, on the Gun Collective's page, and basically Tim Kennedy said, why don't you put your money where your mouth is and come find me, and we'll settle this face to face. And John Patton said, sure, let's do it. So they went and met and had a face-to-face conversation. And I don't think that Tim Kennedy came out looking any better. Personally, he made some very absolutist comments. Um, so yeah, go check it out. It's on the Gun Collective's Facebook page. If you're on Facebook, go check it out and make an opinion for yourself. I personally don't think that Tim Kennedy made himself look any better, but that's just me. So great question, Drew. Appreciate that. Let's see here. How was meeting John Lovell? John Lovell is a darling of a man. thanks, thanks, Grim Reaper. Yeah, he's actually a really cool dude. He's down to earth. He doesn't take himself too seriously, and he took the time to talk to me like a human being. I actually met him at the Daniel Defense booth and was talking to their marketing person, Lane, and she's real nice. And I had to stop her in mid sentence, and I was like, "Hold on one second, I gotta go talk to that guy right over there." And I beelined right over to John Lovell, shook his hand, got his picture. We traded cards, business cards, and he subscribed to the channel. So, John, if you're watching, thank you so much. I really appreciate the support. It's people like you that keep me going, on top of all of my awesome fans. So, yeah, John Lovell was really, really cool. And he's wicked smart. He is really, really smart. Dude reads like a book a week or something ridiculous. So, yeah. Scott Leeper, hey, what's going on? Nice to see you swinging by. Let's see. Alana says, I have to teach you how to pronounce my first name. Yeah, it's like banana, right? Atlanta, banana, Atlanta banana. Yeah, Atlanta banana. That's what it is. Atlanta banana. So that's what I've been saying. I got it right. So that actually is a really great transition because I met Alana at NRAAM, and she and her boyfriend Mike do a podcast. It's called The Semi-Armed Life, and I took the time. They have 5 episodes posted right now. It's a brand new podcast. I took the 5 hours out of my drive back to Manhattan from Dallas. So I spent 5/7 or I guess really realistically 5/8 of my drive back listening to the Semi-Armed Life. You guys can check that out. They're on SoundCloud. So most people can get SoundCloud as an app on their phone. By all means, I highly recommend swinging by. To be frankly honest with you, I was interested to see what it was going to be all about, but usually brand new podcasts always have some type of hiccup, have some type of issue, has a lot of stuttering or anything else like that. And let me tell you, Mike and Elena have knocked it out of the park. Right off the bat, they hit the ground running. It is entertaining. It keeps you engaged into their podcast, even though you have someone just kind of talking to you the entire time. There's no two-way conversation. There's a two-way conversation in your ears, realistically, but they hit it right out of the park. They're funny, they're entertaining, they're incredibly smart. They know what they're talking about, and they have some really, really, really great content. They talk about, new shooters, what to expect, what kind of holsters should you be looking at. And they don't really get into the details of things. They just kind of overarching viewpoints. And they get into the politics of things that are going on. They've talked about March for Our Lives, and a whole bunch of other things. Let's see. They went into the history of gun confiscation. That was a big topic in one of their episodes, which I really, really, really enjoyed. As being a history major, that stuff really gets me going. So if you guys have the chance, by all means, go check it out. You have my stamp of approval. Go check it out. You will not be disappointed. And if you are, tell me. I'm serious about this. Tell me. Send me a comment in this video, a email, hit me up on Instagram, whatever the case may be. Tell me, and I can relay that information to them if there's something that you'd like to see to be improved. So by all means, go check that out. That kind of transition to where did I meet them? Well, I met them at the Gun Collective panel. So Saturday night, the Gun Collective put together a panel of all the top YouTubers, right? So you had Chad and Eric from Iraq Veteran 88. You had Johnny from 182nd Ideas. You had John Lovell. You had We Like Shooting. Sean from We Like Shooting. Polnar Tactical was there. Tim from Mac. Mr. Guns and Gear. And Adam Kraut. Mr. Adam Kraut himself. Adam Kraut Esquire. And what they did was they took about 2.5 hours to answer questions from people who showed up. And it was really, really cool. And if you were, let me get it right here. If you were the first 500 people, you got not only did you get a chance to meet me, but you also got one of these right here. These little patches, these are super cool. Love these. They're the Guntrepreneur, if I can say it correctly, and it's based off of the Monopoly thing. So that was really, really super cool. It's one of the designs off their shirts. So yeah, so there you go. That was super cool. They took a whole bunch of time to answer tons of questions. Every person that asked a question, pretty much everybody ended up with a box of 12 gauge shotgun shells. These were special home defense style shells, and they're pretty lethal. Instead of them being a slug, they were a dumbbell shaped projectile, right? So incredibly lethal. So it was really, really cool. And to be frankly honest with you, I was absolutely honored to be a part of it. I was just a little minion for John. He had me handing out raffle tickets at the beginning and the patches. And then when everything started up, as they gave away prizes, because they had $25,000 worth of prizes to give away, to include guns. They had some Hollow Sun optics that they gave away. They gave away a suppressor. Actually, a couple suppressors. They gave away a couple internally suppressed 22 long rifles. It was just really cool. They had tons of stuff. Tactical walls. They had some stuff from Tactical Walls they gave away. Let's see. They gave away a case of 6.5 Creedmoor from Prime Munitions. I couldn't believe it. I was like, really pissed because I just started my 6.5 Creedmoor journey, and they give away a whole case of it, and I can't even be a part of it. So, man, so wicked crazy. If you guys get a chance to attend NRAAM next year, which will be in Indianapolis, by all means, I highly suggest you guys get to the TGC panel. You will not regret it. It's fun. It's entertaining. Let me tell you, if Johnny's there again, it's just going to be off the rails. Let me tell you, between Johnny and Sean from We Like Shooting, ridiculous. Let me tell you, like, ridiculous. So let's swing back over to the chat room. Let's see. Yeah, can I drop a link to the podcast? If you scroll down a little bit and see Elena, she has it right there. It's going to be SoundCloud, and then all you have to do is search the podcast for Semi-Armed Life. When this uploads to the YouTubes, I will also put a link to it in the description below. So I don't have it handy right now, but I will put it into the description as soon as I am done and it's uploaded, and you guys can come back and watch a little bit later. One of the other things at the TGC panel was that we got the results from the NRAAM election for board of the directors. So Adam Kraut wasn't elected during the normal voting time, but they allowed for some individuals, and I don't know the specific terms, so feel free to correct me if I'm wrong. Um, um, but they allowed individuals to come to the annual meeting and vote for basically write-in candidates. Adam Kraut was naturally a write-in candidate. There was tons of support for him. There were buttons all over the place. There were little stickers, the little name tag sticker says, "Hello, my name is," and then in the white space, it said "Enemy Within," kind of a dig at Marion Hammer. And at the end of the day, it turned out that Adam Kraut wasn't elected. So I was really disappointed in that. I feel that Adam Kraut is probably and this is my personal opinion, I think he has the most legitimate reason to be on the board of directors. He's incredibly smart. He understands the gun industry. He understands the laws behind the gun industry as well. So he is a vital source, or a resource, or I should say, a vital resource for the NRA. He's an activist. I just can't talk enough good things about Adam Kraut. And unfortunately, again, he didn't prevail. So we're going to continue to fight that. I hope he runs again next year. I'm sure he will. And we need to get people like Marion Hammer off the board of directors. Now, you may see a lot of people who are on Instagram or social media that says the board of directors don't do anything. They have no power. It's all Chris Cox and LaPierre and everything. But let me tell you, the board of directors can steer the NRA in certain directions. And maybe if we get the right people in there, maybe the board of directors can do something to get LaPierre and Chris Cox out. I don't know if that's actually the process of how that works, but I really hope that we can figure out a way to get LaPierre and Cox out, because they may be great people, but I really think they're doing a disservice. So it really bugs me to see people that come out and say the NRA is supporting anti-gun laws, which they are. Yep, I'll take that right on the chin. Yes, they are, with steering the ATF to relook at what a automatic rifle is and have them rewrite the definition for that, the fixed NICS stuff, and the list goes on. But if we get the right people in there, we can change those things. So everybody has an opinion. You're more than welcome to post it on social media, but your argument really ends up being null and void if you're not actively involved in the NRA. You can have your opinion, but your opinion doesn't carry much weight if you're not part of the solution. You're just part of the problem, right? The NRA, whether you like it or not, is the largest civil rights organization that the 2A community has. Yes, there's other ones, Gun Owners of America, and the list goes on and on and on. But the NRA is the biggest, whether you like it or not. And if you want things to change, you're going to have to go through the NRA. If you want gun laws to remain the same or get better, you're going to have to go through the NRA. And if you're not a part of the NRA, then you can't do that. So that's why I remained an NRA member. That's why I'm going to continue to remain an NRA member. And yeah, and just support people like Adam Kraut. So get off my soapbox there about the NRA, and let me take a sip of water. Whew, way too dehydrated. So one of the other really cool things was one of the companies that I really, really like, and I have a video coming up here real soon on their gear, is Blue Alpha Gear. So Blue Alpha Gear makes some pretty awesome belts. One right here. It's my battle belt, how I got it set up. This particular one has an inner and outer belt, as you can see right there. And these guys rock. I mean, they make some really, really, really good belts. Really tough. As you can see, it's not drooping, right? It droops a little bit because of the weight, but for the most part, it's not drooping. All right. So it's sturdy, it's strong, it's got MOLLE, great battle belt. They have EDC belts, stuff that you can wear with trousers, jeans, pants, whatever. And the really super cool thing, Donald Trump Jr. walked through the convention, was checking some things out. But as he was leaving, he made it a point to swing by Blue Alpha Gear's booth and shake Kurt, the owner's, hand and said, "Hey, I love your stuff." That was freaking amazing. And then he walked right by me. I was like 5 feet away from him. Security guards pushing people out of the way. It was really, really kind of cool. Um, and so it's really cool to see people like that a part of the 2A community that takes the time to stop and talk to companies like that. So, all right, let's take another break real quick. Let's check out the chat room real quick. Drew says he can't support a folding gun. Yeah, I get that too. It's kind of it's a gimmick, but maybe some innovation can come out of that gimmick. So let's see. Mike's blushing. I don't think so. Indy is awesome. A beautiful city. Yeah, I hope to be there next year. Maybe bring some people while I'm there. What are your thoughts about Oliver North being president? Wow. I had never considered that. I don't think it'll happen because of the whole Iran-Contra affair that happened back in the 80s. I think that would really hamstring him from becoming president. However, he is extremely intelligent. He's very articulate, and I think that I think he could do some good. I don't know too much about him. I'd have to research his politics a little bit better. So let's see. Ms. Barrick says, I wish younger people in the industry had representation. Adam would be a great person to fill that role. You are absolutely right. You're absolutely right. So I'm a little behind here. So yeah, just downloaded the app and followed the podcast. Thanks, Drew. Thanks. I knew I could count on you. I knew I could count on you. Drew, by the way, I'm going to give you I'll send you a text tomorrow. I got an email today that I about jumped out of my skin. So I'll have to share that with you. Leave that for a later time, another pod or a live chat, but we'll talk about that later. So let's see. Alaskan Ballistics. Hey, what's going on? So I'm glad you're swinging by. What was your biggest takeaway from the event, and what did you not expect? What did I not expect? The fewest number of protesters I've ever seen in my entire life. The first day, Friday, it was raining, and there was all of like 6 people that was protesting. I was expecting tons of people, and I was actually prepared for it. I brought my camera. I was going to come out and I was going to interview some people non-militantly. I was just going to say, hey, I just want to hear what you have to say. Here's my card. I'm pro 2A, but I want to have a discussion. I'm not going to interject my opinions. I just want to hear what you have to say. And but there was like 6 people. I was like, I'm going to waste my time. So that was that was kind of one of the big takeaways. There's another one I'm going to talk about here in just a second. So stay tuned for that. L. Connor says, well said on the NRA, 40-year member, also a member of GOA SAF and my state group. Well, congratulations to you, L. Connor. I really appreciate that. It takes all of us, and to be frankly honest, we're going to have to be with we're going to have to be a part of his, we're going to have to be a part of a number of different groups. So did I join Mac in his protest? I did not, to be frankly honest with you. Mac led a silent protest Sunday morning. I think it was Sunday morning. Was it Sunday morning? No, it was Saturday morning. To be frankly honest with you, Friday night, I went to a Brownells after party, and it didn't get rowdy or anything. It was actually really nice. It was a cigar bar, and just a chance for a lot of the industry people and content creators to get together and meet each other. I actually met a really good contact there, and was able to talk about how to steer my channel in a little bit more of a unique direction. And I'm really excited about what's to come with that relationship. He's going to really help me out, I think. So his name is Mike, and let me look his stuff up because he has a somewhat unique Instagram handle. He also has a podcast, and I'll share some more details about that a little later. But let's see here. Let me look it up. It is Munitions Weapons Tactical is who I met. His name again is Mike, and he has a website that is www.m-wtactical.com. He's out of Columbia, South Carolina. He's a 22-year retired vet from the U.S. Army, 22 years in the infantry, and he had a lot of great insights and a lot of great ideas for the channel, and I sure do appreciate him sharing that. So by all means, go by, swing that out, check that out, and yeah. So back to Mac's protest. I wasn't there. I was still trying to get up out of bed and get ready. I had been up since about 6:30 the morning before, and went to about midnight, went to bed, got to bed about 12:30, and then it was about 7 o'clock before I could get up. So I missed it. But anyway, you're not a Drew says he's not a fan of ARs that fold. Stop trolling, Drew. Let's see here. Oh, I see. President of the NRA. I am so sorry. I totally misconstrued that. Yeah. I don't know. Again, I'd have to check out his stance on what he really believes about the Second Amendment. Is he a staunch opponent of any gun control? Those types of things. I'd have to really check that out. Should have videoed the 6 people, make them think the movement is dead. Yeah, that's actually a good point. I should have done that. That's pretty funny. And let's see. Do I think the protesters are losing steam? Modern Mountain Man says, I think that, like everything in the United States, it's a fad, right? So there's a tragedy, and people want to use that tragedy to posture up victimhood. They want to be part of the tragedy just as much as anybody else. So they want to try to capitalize on it. When they get bored of it or people stop paying attention, then they stop doing it. It's just like everything else. I mean, think of think of Britney Spears, man. When she shaved her head, when people stopped paying attention to her, she just went right back to the way she was. So anyway, president of the NRA is a figurehead. Wayne LaPierre and the other old guard need to go. Yep, very, very true. Very, very well said there, Alaskan Bliskins. Yep. Drew says the gun grabbers need to worry about the ones with the money, Bloomberg and Clooney, etc. So, yeah. So, great points. Great discussion. Sorry I misconstrued the question about Ollie North being part of being president. I don't know why I thought president of the United States, but yeah, I'm tired. I was up 6:30 this morning, worked all day, did my workout, came home, finished mowing the yard, and had a smoothie for dinner. So I'm dragging a little bit. All right, let's get back to it. One of the other companies that I met was Manticore Arms. And let me tell you, Savin and Kristen run Manticore Arms, and those two are probably two of the sweetest people that I've ever met. They took so much time just to chat, not even about products, just to chat about whatever. And they're just really, really super cool people. So if you guys aren't familiar with Manicore Arms, they are really plugged into the We Like Shooting guys. We Like Shooting really like their stuff, and I can see why. One of the big things that has kind of made kind of separated them from the pack on AR accessories is because that's what they do is their company is all about AR accessories is they've created this rail called the transformer rail. And what's interesting about this, and I really like innovation, and this is pretty innovative, this rail allows you to have about a 4-inch section, two 4-inch section for the full length rails, or at least one on the shorter ones, like the 9-inch rail. And then you can screw in either an M-lock or a key mod section. So if you've got two accessories that you want to put onto your AR, and one's M-lock and one's key mod, you can do that. You can set it up so where you can have it one on one side, one on the other. All you have to do is put the end plates on. Or if you just want a kind of a rail cover that's going to be easy on the hand, you know, a little plastic piece that you can set in there, it'll be nice and comfortable for you to grip. You can do that as well. So I really, really liked it. By all means, swing by, check out Manticore Arms. You can Google it just by Googling Transformer Rail or Transformer Handguard, whatever you want to call it, and check it out. It's not unreasonably priced for what you're getting. And let's see, the barrel nut is actually very, very minimal. I really think that it's like the barrel nut's like maybe 1 or 2 ounces. It's super light. It's high quality aluminum, but it's super, super light. And you put it in the hand, it doesn't even feel like aluminum. But he said, I promise. When Sven was telling me about it, he's like, I promise. It is made out of aircraft grade aluminum. So yeah, let's see. CM Menzel, hey, thanks for swinging by. He says the NRA needs to take on the role of educating the public about guns and gun control facts. The talking points aren't enough. Chicago is a great place to start, and I think you're absolutely correct. Educating the masses on true facts, but we have to be very careful because naturally the NRA is a pro Second Amendment organization. Obviously, they have a very bad public relations viewpoint at this point. I mean, it's just bad for them right now with the protests and say, you know, blood on your hands and everything else. So I think that if the NRA would be effective, they would allow or help direct government organizations to do more investigations on gun control, gun violence, and when I say investigation on gun control is how it didn't work, right? So here recently, there's an article published that a professor from Florida State did his own independent investigation on the effects of gun control and had found that gun control actually didn't work, and also found that a person armed was able to defend themselves anywhere from 500,000 to 2 million times in a single year. That information is skewed because some reports only report if a gun was used to, protect an individual in a shooting, or it could go all the way up as high as 2 million for individuals who used the gun to defend themselves but didn't fire a round. So So there's a little bit of disparity there. But what came out from this article was that the CDC also did the same investigation over 3 years and found the exact same thing as this professor did. And it's now all coming out. The CDC actually did that investigation during the Brady ban and or the assault weapons ban, whatever you want to call it. And they did it in secret, so no one knew about it. So yeah, so I agree with you, but at the same time, I think that we have to be very careful about how the NRA educates people, right? So from an education point of view, I think the NRA would do best by, just really pushing, getting kids involved, educating kids at a young age, really hitting home the four gun safety commandments or rules, whatever you want to call it, and yeah, go from there. So I think that would be where they would do the best. So let's see here. What else do we got in the chat room? Oh, you saw Kevin Ekdahl said that he saw it on Instagram. May go with that for the next build. I would like to. I sure would like to. So maybe I can get one in my hands and I can do a review for you guys. So let's see. All right, so let's move on. One of the other impressive things that I saw, something I wasn't expecting to see, was a suppressor, 22 long rifle suppressor that was the size of a box of 22 long rifle. Now, when I say a size of a box, I'm talking about a 50 round box. So that suppressor is this big. If you are on Instagram, you can see pictures of it on my feed. It is crazy small and it is hearing safe, right? So it's about the size of maybe a pill bottle, or at least, like I said, a 50 round box of 22 long rifle. And that is from the Bowers Group. They call it the Bowers Biddy 22 long rifle suppressor. So that was really, really interesting. Hopefully we can get that routed through Silencer Shop, and maybe I can get my hands on one of those just to test out and see what it's like. But that was pretty cool. Also swung by Aero Precision. You guys know that I'm a big fan of Aero Precision, so naturally I wanted to swing by and see if there was anything new that they were looking at, and they are actually making a suppressor for themselves. They don't have a name of it yet. They're hoping to have it out this fall, but it may be somewhere at the beginning of next year. We'll have to wait and see. But it's a 30 cal can, and even though it's a 30 cal can, it will make 5.56 hearing safe as well, depending on what you're trying to put it on. If it's on a pistol, it's probably not going to be hearing safe, but a standard AR length barrel, 16 inches or longer, it will be hearing safe, as well as 30 cal as well. So that is super exciting. They also have the Lambda brake, which is going to be unveiled here very, very soon. The Lambda brake is a self-tightening muzzle device for your precision rifle. It's super, super cool. It comes in two pieces. You put it onto your barrel, you tighten the collar down, you get it all timed up correctly, and you tighten down the collar down by your hand, and as you fire rounds, that collar self tightens. So that was super cool. I'm really excited to see that hit the market as well. Let's see, swung by Geisley, big Geisley fan. They were one of the companies that gave me the first item to review, the first gun part to review, which was an SSA-E trigger, which is phenomenal. Love that. They have new triggers for PCC or pistol caliber carbines. Their new pistol caliber carbine triggers are just now hitting the market, and they were looking for a trigger that could be used for like the CZ Scorpion. That was what they showed me while I was there, and it was pretty cool. I mean, Geisley, you're not going to go wrong with them. So that was really, really, really super cool. And then they also unveiled a new knife, which is pretty interesting. The knife actually clips into the sheath, and you actually have to push a button to take it out. It's got some really, really beautifully engraved. Well, I shouldn't say beautiful. They're very comfortable engraved handles that go on onto the knife as well. So I don't know much about knives. It looked sharp and it looked cool, and yeah. So so there's that. Let's see what else we got in the room here, chat room. So let's see. The biddy. Yeah, I want one. Yeah, I want one too. And I don't think that they're going to be too expensive. I think they're going to be around the $200 to $300 mark. The biddy, the Bowers biddy suppressor. I think they're going to be very reasonably priced. So again, I'll see what I can do to find some more information. You can find them on Instagram as well. Bowers Group, I think, is what their name is on Instagram. So. Let's see. Any word of Arrow coming out with a dedicated 9mm lower? No. The short answer is no, not yet. But PCCs are becoming very, very, very popular, and they are looking into that. They have to get the tooling up and running. I actually talked to the guy there. I think his name is Chad, and he said that is something that are actually working into, but again, they have to design it. They have to get the tooling up and running. So I would imagine it'd probably be at least another year before they get into something like that. So did you see the Polymer 80 Glock 19 frame with 17 slide at the show? I thought that would get people excited after the 19X. So I did not. I did swing by one booth. I don't even remember the name of the company, but they're a new company that had Polymer 80s. And, to be frankly honest with you, I just don't know enough about Polymer 80s. I really wish that Tactical Toolbox was going to be at the NRA show, because I'm almost certain he would have had something up there. But scheduling conflicts or something, he couldn't be there. So, hey, Landon, don't worry about it. You don't have to worry about being late. Great thing about my chats is that you can always watch them later. So Mountain Man on the biddy, 300 intro price. Yeah, that's what I thought. I'd be more interested in a 19X than a new plain 19. So I'm starting to come around to the 19X. As much as I hate to say it, but I'm starting to better understand the idea of a 17 frame with a 19 slide. So I don't know. Maybe if I shoot one, I might like it a little bit better. I don't know. So anyway, let's see what else we got going on. I've been debating a 458 SOCOM for a while. Yeah, the larger calibers are starting to get interesting. Alaskan Ballistics, I'm going to get to your question. Decent budget 458 SOCOM stuff out there. I think I have a answer for you on that. Let me check one thing here real quick. Just give me a second here. I got my phone up. I'm checking something here because one of the companies that I did talk to was I looked on their website today, and I think that they have something going on. So let me back up one page here, and yes. So Radical Firearms. Now, Radical is, I'm not going to say a budget manufacturer, but they are not overly expensive. So let's see. They've got a 16-inch 458 SOCON complete upper, and it comes in for $589. So we'll call it $590. $590 for a completed upper, and then you can pull together a budget lower. And so for, I'd say, let's see, about $750 maybe, you could, I mean, if you really cheaped out on the lower, and found some, I don't know, maybe some blims or something like that, maybe got a Palmetto State Armory lower, which they have sales right now going on for $40 for a lower. You could probably get away with $750 for a 458 SOCOM. So something to consider. Radical Firearms, those guys, I got to talk to them just ever so briefly. I didn't even get a chance to swing by their booth, but they were really cool to talk to. So even though I mistook them for somebody else, I looked at the guy and I was like, so you work with Silencer Shop? And because we were standing right next to the Silencer Shop booth. And he's like, no, I'm with Radical. And I was like, oh, well, duh, because your big R on your shirt. That was one of my embarrassing moments. So, but I was in a hurry. That was on Sunday, and I was actually racing out the door. I just had to swing by and say goodbye to a good buddy, Sean, before I left. So yeah, check out Radical Firearms. They've got some pretty decent deals. I wouldn't say that they're the cheapest out there. They're not, but they've got a couple different options. So we just talked about 458 SOCOM. They've got 12.7 by 42 complete upper, 50 cal basically, 6.5 Grindle, 300 Blackout, 450 Bushmaster, 7.62 by 39, 5.56 223, and 22 Valkyrie. Oh, and then 6.8 SPC. Though all of those they have completed uppers for. So definitely check those out if you're interested. If not, touche. What else we got in the chat room right now? Dante Hill says it should have been a 19 frame with a 17 slide. And that is something that I have been saying for a very, 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 very long time when it came to the 19X, is that it should have been exactly that, a 17 slide with a 19 frame. And the reason for that, in my perspective, is you get a longer sight radius, so it'd be a little bit more accurate, and it would be a little bit easier to fit to the hand for pretty much everybody. If you were considered about capacity, then you could always add magazine extensions, which they did for the 19X to make it even longer. But when it came to transitioning to a civilian market, it might pick up a little bit more steam because people like the idea of being able to conceal a 19 frame, but have that longer sight radius. So, I get it. And it's just one of those things. Well, we'll just have to see what happens. Maybe Generation 6 will be just that. Or they come out with a Glock 51 or something like that, where it is, in fact, a 17 slide with a 19 frame. I don't know, who knows? We'll have to see. But I can start to see how the military liked the idea of it. So Alana says, I heard about some super modular gun that Zero Delta released, but I didn't get to see it. Did you? I heard it screws together or something, which sounds like it'd be terrible. I don't know if it was Zero Delta, but right behind Manticore Arms, and maybe it was Zero Delta, but Manticore Arms, their booth right behind them was a company that Sean Curtis and Jackie Billings wanted me to swing by and check out, and I didn't get over there to talk to them because I was talking to you, but it was right next door to us, and it is in fact an AR that you can, I guess you like. There's a lever that you pull on it, and then it twists and it comes apart. So if you have like a AR that has a folding stock on it, or a folding brace, and then you take off the barrel, the overall length of it, once you put it into a backpack, is the length of the barrel. So if you have, say, a 10.5-inch pistol that has a folding brace on it, then the overall length of it, once you break it down, is going to be 10.5 inches plus the muzzle brake. So what, call it 11, 12 inches or something like that. It's crazy intelligent. I'm concerned about what would happen as it wears. The longer you have it, the more you shoot it. Is there going to be some variances that's going to cause it to, I don't know, gas out or something? Or maybe it starts to get into situations where there's failure to eject, or who knows. Time will tell. I think it's a great idea. Again, I'm big into innovation, so time will tell. So let's see what else we've got going on here. A bunch of my Beowulf brethren have had issues with radical firearms, and I've heard that too. I've heard that too. Again, I don't know a lot about them, but I do know that the two guys that I talked to seemed to be really intelligent and knew their stuff. I'm not going to say that everything that they have, on their website is going to be Daniel defense level, but if you're looking for something that is going to get you basically going to scratch that itch, or is going to be, maybe you're just looking to get into it, but you're not sure of it. You can buy a Radical Firearms upper, put together with a lower of that caliber, and test it out. And if it doesn't work well, or you don't like it, or if it recoils too much for you to manage or something like that, then you can sell it, and probably you should still at least be able to get your money out of it. And then you didn't invest much money into it. Whereas if you go with some of these other companies, say like BCM or somebody like that, who is making a 300 Blackout or a 458 SOCOM or whatever the case may be, you may be dumping a lot of money into it, and then it turns out that you may not like it. That's one of the things that I've been very hesitant about getting a 300 Blackout, is because I'm not too sure I want that round. It's super cool. It's subsonic. You can shoot it suppressed, and it's super quiet, and it still has a lot of kinetic energy on impact. So it's, that's cool. But AK does the exact same thing, and to be frankly honest with you, the AK's recoil impulse is a little bit easier to control than a pistol or an SBR version of the 300 Blackout. So, it's to each his own, 6 of one, half a dozen on the other. It's just really going to be what you guys are looking for. So let's see what else is going on. Primary Arms had a big bore bundle going for a while. Yeah, I like Primary Arms. I haven't paid much attention to them, though. Sorry. Personally, I like the ergonomics of the M&P or the Springfield. Landon, I hope you're talking about, I really hope you're not talking about the Springfield XD. Little trivia for you. The very first pistol that I ever bought, the very first gun I ever bought, was a XD45. About 6 months after they came out, I got pulled in on the whole allure of the three safeties, the drop safety, the trigger safety, the grip safety, and all that jazz. But it just, it fired, it shot just fine, but it just didn't feel good in the hand. So let's see. Alaskan Ballistics says, yeah, I met a guy in Sportsman's Warehouse who had to file the feed ramps on the 458 SOCOM, and that's a round I just don't know anything about. It's a pretty beefy round from what I understand, but yeah, let's see. I heard about that modular gun during the gun show, and then nothing. Yeah, or SHOT Show, then nothing. Yeah. They're still around. Some people have been talking about it. I don't know if there's too many people that have gotten their hands on it to do a review, but they're out there. Trust your instincts. Yeah, right. Let's see. 2.0 compacts. Loaned it to someone. Yeah. Yes, you did. I still have it. And to be frankly honest with Drew, if you don't mind, I'd like to keep it a little bit longer, at least until I get my Glock 19 back. So, anyway, Army Priss is in the house. Look at that. Hey, Army Priss, I'm just now getting to your there. Yes, I remember you. I remember you. Got to see you today. That was nice. I hope you're feeling better. I really do. I know that stuff sucks. So if you're feeling better, let's see here. Fits the hand better than Glock. Not necessarily crazy about the functionality of the Springfield. I think Smith & Wesson is a overall better fun. I think you mean gun. Better overall gun, the Smith & Wesson. I don't know. That hinge trigger. Matter of fact, the semi-armed life folks talked about this in one of their podcasts. They were not very happy with the MMP shield. They had the MMP shield. I know that's different than the 2.0 or the full-size MMP 9, but both of them have that hinge trigger, right? So whereas the Glock has that little tab that you push in that would deactivate the lock, it has a hinge trigger on it, and the pin fell out and the bottom part of the trigger fell out. Don't know if it still shoot it or not, but that's a problem, right? So I know that Drew put an Apex trigger into his Smith & Wesson shield to solve that problem, and it solved that problem. It felt so good to shoot. Oh, I loved it. So anyway, yeah, supposed to be gun. Got it. I mean, yeah, the MMP 2.0, it's pretty good. I'll have a review for that coming up here pretty soon. And yeah, some shooting drills that I'm going to be doing here pretty soon. I'll be using that. So I would change the trigger. That's the only thing I would do. Yeah, I'd say that. So have you selected an optic for your precision rifles yet? So at the moment, the short answer is no. But at the moment, I do have a Athlon Midas TAC or Midas TAC, and that's a 6-24 powered by 50 millimeter optic, and that's on loan to me from Athlon. I really like that optic. I don't know if that's the best optic that's on there, but for the price point, it is spot on. HD Japanese glass, and yeah, it was it's pretty cool. It's pretty cool. I've got it sitting right over there. I'm looking at it right now, and I like Athlon stuff. Really great stuff. Good price point, and I think they're comparable to Vortex, if not better. So, let's get to the last thing I wanted to talk about real quick. If you guys have been following the channel, you know that I am a big fan of Palmetto State Armory. The two manufacturers that I really like right now are Aero Precision and Palmetto State Armory. I've done 3 videos on the PA-10. Is it 3? Yeah, 3 videos on the PA-10 Gen 2. I think it's a pretty decent battle rifle for the price. For about $600 to $700, you can get an AR-10, and it's pretty good. Now, there has been a lot of complaints about Palmetto State Armory and their customer service, their wait times, and so on and so forth. So I went over there and I talked to their people, specifically their marketing director, Logan. And I just blatantly said, hey, look, I've got some videos out there that's getting a lot of traction. I really like your stuff. I think that you are a great company for the blue collar worker to really, piece together an AR or, get a good deal on some ammunition or something like that. But the problem is people say that your stuff is out of stock all the time and your customer service is pretty lackluster. That's a lot of the complaints that I'm getting. Their response, take it or leave it. This is what they told me. was they are working on their capacity, their manufacturing capacity. So if you don't know what manufacturing capacity is, it's the number of people have a certain amount of time that they can work in a day, which means they can only produce a certain amount. And if they're at 100% capacity, that means that they're building everything they possibly can. And they are. They're at 100% capacity and they still can't keep things on the shelf. Why? Because people want it. People are buying it and scooping it up because it's decent quality at a decent price, right? So they've added a third shift to make sure that they can keep up with demand. So that's number one. The number two thing that they said was that they're really working on their customer service. They're trying to get more lines added so they can answer calls quicker and make sure that they can answer questions customers have. Now, if you're calling with some silly question about, hey, why is this not on the website? Well, it's not on the website because they're sold out. I mean, that's pretty self-explanatory. But their customer service really should be used for issues that people have, right? So if they're, you got something and something's not right, then by all means, you should be calling customer service about that. But if you're calling customer service, if you're calling customer service to complain about something not being in stock, you're wasting other people's time, right? So, but they're trying to correct that. They're trying to get it set up to where if you have questions about your order, you can go to this person. If you have questions about stuff that is on the website, you have questions about stocking, you can go to this person and talk to them. So they're really, really trying to fix that. And I don't know if I'm going to be able to make this happen. I'm going to have to really figure out how to make this happen. But they have invited me to come out and tour their facility. They said that we want people like myself who really support Palmetto State Armory, really like what they're trying to do, come out and tour and take a look at what they're doing. So they can be as transparent as possible. And I thought that was really cool that they would just open their doors up and allow me to walk around with a camera. So that's something I'm going to be trying to work out. It probably will be next year before I'll be able to do something like that. But I don't know, who knows? Maybe I can take a quick trip out there over a weekend or something. I don't know. We'll just have to see what happens. But I was really impressed by that. I was impressed that they would offer me to go to their facility. And, South Carolina, you can't beat it. I mean, it's beautiful there. So I've heard. I have never actually been there. So furthest up that way I've been would be like Atlanta. So I mean, I've never been into South Carolina, but I hear it's great. So that really covers my impressions of the NRA show. The atmosphere was positive. A lot of people had great things to say. I'm over an hour now talking about this, and I was impressed. I enjoyed it. Do I agree with the way that the NRA is traveling right now? No, I don't. But how do you fix it? You fix it from the inside, right? So think of the NRA as your family. Right? If you're married and you've got kids, do you want someone from next door coming over and telling you how you should be running your household? No. You fix it from within, right? Every family has problems. And the way you fix those problems is you sit down, you talk through it, and you find solutions. Now, if your next door neighbor wants to come over and move in with you and be a part of your family, which would be weird and doesn't necessarily fit the analogy. But let's just say in a weird world that would be happening. That would happen. Maybe his house burnt down, and he needed a place to stay, and he came and lived with you, and you decided just to, hey, pay rent, and you can stay here as long as you want. Then maybe he would have a say in what happens in that household, right? So, needless to say, I think that we really need to work.
Our family doesn't have problems.
Yeah, no, we don't have problems at all, right? Get out of here. we got the freaking peanut gallery chiming in here. So needless to say, that's all I'm going to say about that. The NRA has problems. We need to fix them from within, and we need to hold them accountable to fighting for our rights. So anyway, let's take a real quick glance through the chat room before we sign off here. Let's see here. Keltec has always had that problem. I don't know what you're talking about, Keltec. I'm a Vortex man. Kevin says I'm a Vortex man. Got to stay true to my roots here in Wisconsin. Hey, and that's fine. That's fine. I would encourage you. You can stay true to Vortex, but I would encourage you that if you're at a gun show and you walk by a booth that has Athlon optics, I'd encourage you just take a look at them. You don't have to buy one. Just take a look at them, see what you think. I think the glass is extremely clear. Like I said, Japanese HD quality glass, and the turrets are very, very tactile. Yeah, I just can't say enough about it, and I keep on looking at it over here. But yeah, great stuff. So let's see what else. Did you get a chance to check out SIG's new ballistic data exchange system? So that's actually a really good question. I know that they just released it. It's a site, just real quick, guys. It's a site that has a device that is hooked up through Bluetooth with the site, and what it does is it calculates dope for you, right? So it's a rangefinder. You range find it, you range the target that you're looking at, and once you range it, then it automatically feeds that information into the site, and it calculates the distance and provides you a spot on point of aim, point of impact, which is super, super cool. I'm used to it because, you know, being on tanks, we have a ballistic computer already in the tank. So all I have to do is hit that laser rangefinder, hit the laser, right? And as soon as I do that, the barrel does this little deal, and basically what it's doing is it's adjusting to what the computer is telling it to do. So what it does is it elevates that turret, or it elevates the cannon, so that it arcs that round into the target depending on how far away it is, right? So basically they took that idea and shrunk it down into a red dot, which is super cool. All right, so innovation at its best. I didn't get the chance to see it, put my hands on it, because to be frankly honest with you, SIG's booth was just a madhouse. I was able to go ahead and pick up the P365 again and hold it in my hands and wish that my order would be fulfilled from Brownells here soon. But come to find out, Mr. Guns and Gear, he ordered a P365 from Brownells as well, and he's still waiting on it. So there you go. Let's see. I would love to take that tour. Army Press, me too. Well, you know what? Maybe Army Press, we can make that happen. Relaxin' Jackson. Yes. Beautiful country, walking there's a Pogue Life. All right, let's see what else. What else we got here? Highlight of the show right there. Let's hey, 410 cars and stuff. Hey, I'm signing off, but thanks for swinging by. That's it. That's really everything. I love talking to you guys. You know, some people know that I'm a chatty Cathy. I get going, and it takes me a long time to stop. I'm at an hour and 12 minutes, and I could go on for another 45 minutes, but I'm not. I'm going to go ahead and painfully say goodbye to you guys. Thank you so much. If you haven't already, hit a thumbs up button. Check out my website. Check out my other videos that I've got going on. If you're new to the channel, also, once again, go check out Semi-Armed Life on SoundCloud. They'd really appreciate the support. I would too. I'd appreciate you guys swinging by. Not that I'm getting anything out of it. I just really like to support them because they are putting out some really, really great stuff. Alana and Mike, I'm sorry if I butcher your name again, but Alana and Mike, they're doing great stuff, and it was a privilege and an honor to meet you guys. And I hope that we can foster a relationship and help each other out in the future. I'm going to continue to listen to you guys. I'm super excited to see what you guys got coming. So anyway, you're very much welcome. So with that being said, that's really all I've got. Thanks Thanks a lot, guys. I really appreciate all the support. While I was at the NRA show, I had a few fans come up and shake my hand, and we took some selfies, and that really meant a lot. I've never had anything like that happen. So this was the first time that some fans of the channel came up and said hi, shook hands. We did selfies. It really made me feel like a celebrity, and made me realize that I'm actually getting through some people, and that means tons. So again, naturally, thank you guys so much. If you want to support the channel, swing by the website. There's a link down in the description below to other ways that you can support the channel as well. Sure would appreciate it. And yeah, that's it. You guys have a great night. Thanks for staying up with me. Sure do appreciate it. I got some family that needs some loving, so I need to go take care of that. So that's really all I got this time. Thanks so much for swinging by. I really sure do appreciate it. And as always, keep calm and carry. See you guys. Bye.